Today, I'm going to be scaping this aquarium right here. This is a Nano ADA aquarium measuring 36 centimeters in length, 26 centimeters in height, and 22 centimeters in depth. My idea for this scape is something simplistic but also low maintenance. I recently watched a video from MJ Aquascaping where he made a scape of only musses and Bucephalandra. I want to try the same style, but I have a different visual picture in mind. For this scape, I'm going for a V composition. The aquarium will not be set up at my home, which means that I need to consider both plants and livestock that can tolerate me not being around that often. In terms of hardscape, I am using rocks I've gathered myself, alongside some small twigs for some added detail. All of the rocks are now in, and I'm actually quite happy with how it looks. There is the rock formation on the left side here, which can look a bit strange as of now, but I think once we get all the plants and the wood attached as well, it'll look good. But the next thing we can add to this is these little twigs that I have. I want to kind of dot them around here and there in order to make the branches pop out. But before I can do that, I want to secure all of the rocks so they don't just fall around, and so I will have to glue them in, and I'll use this gel-based glue in order to do that. So all of the glue has now been added to the stones, and now I'll just give it a few moments in order to kind of set. But a way to get it to set quicker with this is actually to spray a bit of water on it, so that is what I'm going to do now. Now we can move on to the next part of the scape, which will be these twigs right here. I want to dot them about in here to kind of make it look like branches that are arching out, and then this pathway we'll get in the middle will kind of stay clear. I do also want to create a sense of depth in the scale, in the scape, and a good way of doing that is to have the thicker branches, such as this one, more at the front, and then it thins out as we go further along to the back of the tank. So that's what I'll attempt to do here. It's now actually a few weeks later, and everything in here has had time to settle and kind of fall into place. I did tip over this little stick here, so we'll kind of have to work around that. But now I think we're ready for the substrate and also the plants as well. But before that, another change has happened. As you might see, we have got the lighting in place. And this is the Twinstar 20B3. It's a relatively small RGB lighting, but it's still quite powerful. It comes equipped with a built-in controller, so you can adjust both the intensity and the photo period directly on the unit. I'll be running it for 8 hours a day after setup, which will give the plants enough energy to grow steadily without overdriving the system. And as previously mentioned, I want to keep this low maintenance. I want to have plants that doesn't require me to come in and trim every so often, because this is not at my home. So I've gone for a lot of different epiphytes that I can use because they're slow growing, and also that enables me to plant them everywhere across the hardscape instead of in the substrate as well. And the plants that I've chosen to use is the Bucephalandra SP Maya, Bucephalandra Serimbu Brown, Anubias Nano, Bucephalandra Pygmea Bukit Kilam, Bucephalandra Special Number 7, and Bucephalandra Mycanthra Needleleaf. I've also gone ahead and taken some moss from my home tanks, as well as some more Anubias Nana, and also one small piece of Bucephalandra Kitagang from home as well. So yeah, a lot of different Anubias. I think once they grow in, they look good. For now, they do look very similar to one another, but in time, I think that will be quite alright. And now for the substrate, I will be using this white sand. For the meantime, it will look quite artificial in the beginnings, but once everything settles and yeah, waste gathers at the bottom, this will turn a bit more natural colored. So I think when the update comes in and around, once the tank is 2 months old or something, this should look a lot better than it does in the beginning. Now we can move on to the plants. And when you are dealing with these kind of in vitro plants, you need a bucket of lukewarm water so you can rinse off the kind of nutrient heavy gel layer that there is in these epiphytes away. And then after you've cleaned that and you've cleaned the plants in the water, you can separate the plants into these individual groups. And you do really get a lot of value for money with these in vitro cups. You get so many different individual plants in these, and I think for a mini tank like this, it fits the scale a lot better as well. But yeah, when you've broken them into plants, you can then choose where you want to place them. And I think I'm just going to go a bit random everywhere. I'm going to put moss everywhere there's visible glue points. And I'm also not going to be cheap in where I'm placing the epiphyte, because I do have a lot of plants. The first plant that's going in is this Bucephalandra Bukit Kilam. This is one of the more broader leaves type of Bucephalandra, so I think I want to try and follow depth perception again in making the broader leaves more at the front and then the finer leaves more at the back to create a better visual effect of depth in the scape. But I don't really have a plan as to where I'm going to place each individual type of plant. I just want them kind of mixed together and dotted about. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do with every one of them. So it's now been months since I set up the tank, and I just haven't had the time to come and do a follow-up. The tank has actually been through a lot of struggles. I've had a lot of Platyphora algae in here, as well as hair algae, and that's mainly because
the water pump that I had in here, the small pump that I had, it just fell out of place, and when it didn't have the right angle, it couldn't take in water, so it just became stagnant, and that's where an algae grew. So I've gone ahead and added a filter. This is the Blau M120, and yeah, so far it's done the job pretty good. I've also done a trimming session on the tank, and I'll lay some clips of that. The moss had completely taken over everything, so I had to trim that back a fair bit, so the epiphytes as well can become visible. Other than that, not much have actually changed. The plants haven't really grown, and that's because I've not added any fertilizer, because I wanted it to become a stable environment first and foremost. The moss has grown, but yeah, the epiphytes, they are very slow growing. Most of them are looking good, some have melted, but yeah, they are growing at their own very steady pace, I think it's fair to say. But let's go and have the shrimp.
I've gone for 8 of these orange neocaridina shrimp. There are supposed to be 10, but one didn't survive the shipping, and another unfortunately didn't make it past the first day. All in all, I think the tank has turned out better than what I could have hoped for. The moss has really grown in and has made it look so much better overall. The shrimp also adds a lot of life and also character to the tank, so I'm very happy with my choice of livestock as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of the outcome, and please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you do like the content. Thank you so much for watching.